going on, everyone? Welcome to today's installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs, and I want to thank you for joining me today on what is Christmas Eve. My wife couldn't find the tree topper this year, so we put Bob Belcher on top of the tree this year. What's the point of having a tree skirt under the tree when you have two cats that like to move it from the tree? That's how Christmas is around here, guys. So that's right, it is Christmas Eve. As of right now, it is in the afternoon-ish hours, and basically, well, I'm off work, obviously, because we're closed on Christmas Eve. My wife is at work right now because she works in retail, so who knows how long she's gonna be at her place of employment. I'm sure they are very busy with last-minute shoppers. But I decided, we're gonna do an oil change on the Saab today, because I usually film a Christmas video somehow, and I really don't have anything to film this year. Last year we had a snowstorm, so we did some cold starts and such on Christmas last year, and I'm sure in the years past I've done maybe something on Christmas, but the Saab is overdue for an oil change, and we're finally going to do that today. So we're just going to go out, we're going to take a drive. I'll tell you guys a little bit about the cars, but I do have something that I need to explain to you, because the next few vlogs that you're going to see, well, things are going to start to get pretty confusing. And I say that because the next batch of vlogs that are coming after this one have already been pre-recorded. So it's almost like you guys are going to be stepping back in time after this vlog, because this vlog is being recorded as of current and will be uploaded either on Christmas Day, maybe the day after Christmas, but it is still within current time. The vlog after this was filmed a few weeks ago, and the next few vlogs after that, which has to do with my sister's car, my sister's Fiesta, well, those next few vlogs with that car have also been filmed a few weeks ago, by the time you guys watch this. So it's going to be kind of weird for a little bit, but like I said, I wanted to get a video out there for Christmas for you guys, and I also want to be able to tell you guys, have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holiday, and just be safe out there, be careful, and that's pretty much it. I just wanted to get a Christmas video out there. I got nothing else to do, so we're gonna hop in the car and we're gonna go get our oil. And like I said, I got a couple of things to talk about when it comes to a few of the cars out there. So let's get our coat on and let's head out the door. Yes, it really doesn't look like Christmas at all this year because of the fact that, there's no snow. In fact, it's actually really warm. I probably don't even need my jacket. Definitely a lot warmer than I was expecting for it to be. So we're going to take the Grand Am today. She has been sitting for about a week up there. Had the Saab out yesterday, so before I called it a night, I switched them so I didn't have to do it today. And the Fusion will be driven tomorrow when we go to Christmas dinner. So we need to get this thing on the road for a little bit, because I don't think she's been happy with me. I think Jade here has a little bit of jealousy since we brought the Saab home, to be quite honest with you. So get the music down. Yeah, she's been a little jealous, I think, and I'll kind of go into that. Still running pretty good though, especially for not being driven. I think it extended cranked now because of the fact that I only had it running for like 2 minutes last night after sitting for a week just to move them, She still drives like she's never had a chance to sit. So, still extremely impressed with this car after all that it's been through, and You know, the mileage isn't all that high for the year, obviously. We're at 127,140 on the odometer. We've almost got 10,000 miles on it since it's been on the road with me. So I believe it'll be at 128,458, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So when we hit that, that'll be our 10,000 mile mark. And yeah, definitely still getting some good use out of this $700 car. Haven't had to do a whole lot to it, but stuff is coming, and stuff is probably coming very soon, because like I said, she is starting to show a little bit of jealousy, you know, from me acquiring another, you know, car, not to replace it, because like I said, I'm trying to hold on to this car as long as I can, because I absolutely love this car. And I know you guys question that because of, you know, what it is, but I absolutely love this car, and I really want to hold on to it for as long as we can. So one thing I've noticed, especially with how the car has the opportunity to sit recently, is we have a few drips on the ground here and there. So that's a little concerning, because it's not oil, it's the red stuff. And it can go both ways, because this car has obviously transmission fluid, and we have power steering fluid, because it's a hydraulic power steering system. So it could be either one of them. So the one day last week, I took the car to work with me, and after work I put on the lift to see where my leak is coming from, and it does appear that it's transmission fluid. My initial thought at first was thinking that it's going to be the transmission lines, but as crusty as those lines are, the lines are not leaking yet, but I'm sure that's coming. My transmission pan gasket appears to be seeping, and it's getting to the point now where it's running off of the transmission pan and onto the ground. And that kind of concerns me a little bit, because I don't have a dipstick on this transmission to continuously check the fluid level. And I'm also a little concerned at the fact that I'm going to have to change that, but that also means this fluid has to leave, and I have to put some new fluid in it, which, for how old the transmission is, and for the fact that it's probably never been serviced, I'm a little afraid that the new fluid is going to destroy this perfectly shifting transmission at this time. The one thing that I was, you know, kind of eerie about with this car when I got it was the transmission. And this transmission has been flawless the entire time that I've had this car so far. So I'm a little nervous to put new fluid in it, but it's going to have to happen, especially with the fact that the lines can go at any time. Just like what happened with my mom's Malibu. Same exact setup, same exact line, I'm pretty sure. So it's going to blow out eventually. And then, you know, we're going to have bigger problems. But either way, the fluid has to be changed, and that's where I'm going to start to get a little nervous with the performance of this transmission. So I think what I'm going to do is we are going to do the gasket, but I might as well plan on replacing the lines at the same time. We might as well do it all at once. That way we don't have to keep, you know, replacing fluid if we don't have to. Another question is, should I change the filter on this transmission also? I was thinking about doing that. The filter doesn't cost much. There again, is it going to mess up the performance of this transmission? I'm just afraid to do too much to it. But it's like, since we're down there and the pan's going to be off, we might as well, you know, change the filter, because it's going to be accessible. So I don't know, I have a lot to think about, but I do know we are going to end up doing a gasket and probably both of the lines at the same time. When that's going to be, not 100% sure, but it probably will be, if it holds out long enough. Hopefully I can wait till spring to actually get a hold of that. There is a beautiful silver Aztec driving past me, but you guys can't see it. It is a lighter silver, so it's either an 04 or an 05 from what I was able to tell. Did I tell you guys that I'm also thinking about buying a trash can while we're out? I know it's, of all things, it's a very weird thing to say I'm going out for, but we need a new kitchen trash can. I want to get a bigger can, something with maybe a lid or something because of the cats. So we may also be buying a trash can, and hopefully, well, yeah, a kitchen trash can should fit fine in this car, I would assume. I don't know where I'm going yet, but I know for sure I'm going to get my oil now for the Saab because they close in just a couple hours. Obviously, it's Christmas Eve, so I want to make sure that I get that now, and then I'll go someplace to look for a kitchen trash can, I guess. So this is the most expensive oil change I have ever spent on a car for myself. Oh, the perks of owning a European vehicle. I actually have a interesting story about the oil for this car. I will tell it to you guys when we get home. But yeah, I bought the good stuff. I bought the expensive stuff. Boy, it's not all the time that you see both cars in one vlog on the road, huh? The wife's Fiesta's in front of me right now. So my day got pushed back a little bit because I actually went to meet her at work as she was getting off, and we ended up going to the store to get a trash can, which is in the back seat, so we got that. I didn't feel confident in making the trash can purchase by myself, so I needed her decision to help me. So we got the trash can, and then we also got some drive-through food also. So I'm hoping, because it's starting to look like it might rain, which it is in the forecast, but I still plan on doing this oil change on the Saab. I think she has a high mount bulb out. Yeah, there is a bulb out. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna start it up, and I'll let it run a little bit so that way all the stuff gets flowing, and that way we can get more out of it. And while it's warming up, I'll tell you guys about the oil of this particular car. Make sure the radio's down. You'll notice when I start it up, since it hasn't been driven all day, the first start of the day, it's got a little bit of a roughness to it that kind of goes away pretty quickly. Oh yeah, we got the stability control failure message. This will be the third time that it has appeared. So I don't know. We'll scan it. Not that worried about it. And there it goes. It's smoothing out. It probably just needs new plugs or something. It is my guess. Now, we are at 195,346 miles on the clock with this car. I haven't even had it a whole 1,000 miles yet. I think I've only done maybe about 500 miles with this car at this time. And we've had it for just a little over a month. So, yeah, it's due for an oil change. I actually performed the last oil change on this car when I did the valve cover gasket for my stepsister when she had it. And she brought the oil, like she had bought everything for me to do an oil change on it since, it was due anyway. And we put 530 Mobil 1 full synthetic in it. So I'm not 100% sure what the service interval with this particular engine is yet. It could be 3,000 miles, could be 5,000 miles. It has definitely been about 5,000 miles, maybe a little over at this point, because I'm pretty sure it was at 189,000 when I had the car for the valve cover gasket. But I've come to find out, when I looked in service data about the oil and such for this car, we put 6 quarts of 530 in it, and I found out that 530 really is not the recommended oil for this particular engine. And granted, like I said, my stepsister had already bought everything, but her ex was actually a mechanic, and that's what he told her to buy for this car. That's what he would put into it, was the Mobil 1 full synthetic 5W30. In service data, it actually lists 3 viscosities of oil. 030, 040, and then 530 is on there, but 530 is like a last resort, apparently, from what I was reading. It's okay if maybe you put 530 in for the time, but I guess 530 really isn't the best to use time after time after time. And I was very confused. I didn't know exactly what I should buy. I don't think the manual really specified it. I think it said 030 or 40. But either one, I'm sure, is fine if it's in the owner's manual. But I wanted to make sure that I was getting the one that was best suited for the car. So I actually ended up calling a business here in the area who used to be an actual Saab dealership. They're still open. They still service a lot of exotics and a lot of foreign European cars, including Saab. And I asked them, basically I called them and asked them, what is it that they use for this particular car? And the service guy told me they have used 0W40 full synthetic the entire lives of this car, this engine. So that's what I bought. I'm sure the brand really doesn't really matter. I did buy full synthetic because that is what my stepsister was putting in it. That part I know for sure is recommended that you use on this engine. But it was just the viscosity. I wanted to make sure I got the right viscosity. So we're going to put 040 in. I bought the Mobil 1 European formulated full synthetic. We bought 7 quarts of it. This is a 6.3 quart engine from what I was reading in service data. And, I bought 7 this time. That little extra quart I can span out for the next few oil changes. So, yeah, this was about a $60 oil change. I've never paid that much for oil. The filter alone was about $20. And it's a Mobil 1 filter. I wanted to make sure I kept it all Mobil 1. Like I said, usually I'm not brand specific, and I'm not sponsoring Mobil 1 or anything either, but I'm not usually brand specific. With the Fords, I use the Motorcraft because I can get that from work at a decent price. And even on the Grand Am, I've been putting 530 synthetic blend Motorcraft because, again, it's what I can get at a good price for what it is. I could probably put Motorcraft full synthetic in this, but I don't know if we actually carry 0W40 in that viscosity at the Ford dealership that I work at. I don't think that there are any Fords that take 040. I know there's a lot of 020s that the hybrid models usually take, the older hybrid models, but I don't think we even have 040 from Motorcraft. So I decided to just stay with the Mobil 1. That's what it says under the hood. that is what my stepsister's been putting into this car since, you know, her entire ownership. We're going to carry on with that. The next oil change won't cost so much because I'll only have to buy 6 quarts instead of 7. So that actually is going to save me about $10 right there by not buying 1 quart. So I've made my rant now. I'm going to back it up, get the ramp situated, and then I get to spend the next, I don't know, half hour, lifetime trying to get the hood open because I still haven't replaced the hood cable yet. The ramps are still not my favorite thing in the world, but I will say this. They have made working at home on certain things a lot easier. And I've gotten better at driving up them. The hood actually opened up pretty easy for me this time. Alright. The one other thing I love about this particular hood, for some reason, is it opens up really high. Like a lot of cars, I don't think open up as high as this does. Now, I know it looks like it's probably really high because the car's obviously at an angle right now, but I mean, usually, you know, something like this is usually about where they sit, you know, but this, oh, it just gives you, it does give you so much more room. It's nice. See, recommended oils. Either Saab oil or Mobil 1. We'll just keep it with the Mobil 1. So I totally forgot about the fact that there's these torque spit screws on this cover that has to come off. I think, if memory serves me right, they were T30s. Of course, naturally, I don't have a T30 here at the house, but I've got a 27. It grabs it. I don't like that, but that's what I've got, so we're gonna run with that. See if we can. Okay, it's working. I was gonna say they shouldn't be that tight because of the fact that it's just holding this beauty cover on. So I have to get me a T30 for the house now. Oh, this one. That one got a little iffy. Try this last one here. Success. Alright, so the one thing I noticed is there's a bunch of oil here. And I see some oil down there. That's probably from the last time we changed the filter. I did buy some stuff to spray, but the day that I actually took possession of the car, it did say it was low on oil. The warning came on, and it was about a quart low, which you don't want on an engine with a turbo. You can't afford to lose any oil. Granted, this is essentially a GM EcoTech engine. These are known for losing oil as they age. But I see this line here, I see it up there. I don't think that would suck if that valve cover gasket like failed already after like 5,000 miles. I see it down there. I don't know what that is exactly here and there, but something to keep an eye on, I guess. I know the one time I took it to work and looked underneath, it did look like it was there's, you know, it's wet underneath. Maybe I was thinking possibly a rear main seal has gone bad, because that's where it looks like it's coming from, but it's alright. We're not here for that right now. The coolant level, yeah, it still looks pretty decent. It's not at the low mark. It's still kind of at the cold mark. maybe a little bit below, but again, that's something she told me to keep an eye on, because I suspected leaking radiator, but I still haven't really seen any evidence of that. But we'll keep an eye on that still. Alright, let's get the pain in the butt GM oil filter out. You need your specially designed 32mm socket. That, ironically enough, I rebought specifically for this car when I did the valve cover job for the oil filter. And if you have one, like I just acquired one, or I found one, a nice swivel on the end of it, so that way you can actually flex it away from the intake. So I'm doing the filter first because I want all of the I want all the oil in this filter and in the housing to drain back into the engine once the the drain back valve's open, and then that way we can get as much of this old oil out as possible. This one is kind of a tight fit to get through here, so that's probably where that puddle of oil came from. Jeez, I couldn't have got this in there any tighter. There we go. Alright. So we'll let that sit there for a moment. So yeah, so some of it, not all of it obviously, because now I got the car leaning, but most of it drained back into the engine. So I know it's getting kind of dark under here, but you can kind of see the wetness along here. I don't know, I can't remember offhand if that was existent or not when the car was here the very first time. I mean, with the amount of mileage on it, yeah, it's gonna leak, but I just can't remember if it was like this or not. I don't know. I see some running off the transmission here, but again, I don't think that's transmission fluid. I think that is oil, and I think it's coming from whatever is seeping down there. So I did buy some brake clean, and I am going to try to spray everything off, and then monitor it, just as time passes. So I know you guys have seen this stuff before, but like I said, it's all I got for Christmas. Oh, you know what? Look at that. That actually left a nice little drip there. So I wonder what that is. I'm very curious. Is it a 15? Am I right? Yeah, it's a 15. Alright. Probably gonna need both hands for this because of the angle. Or I could just try to knock it loose like that. At work I have a longer ratchet now that I use for oil changes that helps break all that stuff up, so. Alright, let that drain out of there. Yep. And now the breeze is kicking up. Alright, so we'll let that drain. Alright, so what we're going to do now is that's finishing up the draining process. I'm going to put the filter together now so I can kind of spray everything from the top, have it run down, and then we can spray the bottom, also. So, move the old filter, throw it in the basin. And man, I don't know how many times I've stressed this. I should make a montage of this. How many times I am telling everybody to replace the O-ring for the oil filter housing on these engines, on any engine actually, that has one of these cartridge filters like this. Get rid of the old ring. And then you can't see it, but there is a gasket that goes around the top of this. You want to take a flathead screwdriver and pry it off. They do provide you a new one. Trace it around and then pull it right off. Some people may not always change those. I find it very important to make sure the new seal goes on. Definitely want to make sure that you have a fresh ring on there, so we'll get to that here in a sec. And now we're going to need a flat-headed screwdriver. Got to pry that O-ring off like that. There's our old ring. Take our nice new fresh ring and just start feeding it around. Make sure it goes all the way into that top slot there. That way it's all flush. Should look like that. Even the seal on this doesn't look that bad. Oh. Okay, it's on the ground. Very important to put the new seal on this all the time. First you want to wipe it down. Then you want to put your new seal on. Again, very important. Even though the other seal wasn't that old, you always want to use the new one and make sure it lines up all the way to the top where that last groove is. Okay, so clean filter is in place. The new ring is there. This one's black. It's threaded all the way to the bottom. Make sure you wipe down the threads of the cap. It's ready to go back in. So just like the old days, one of the most important things to do with these style oil filters is getting that ring off, replacing it with the new one. So get that off, pitch it. New filter. Comes with a new ring. Put that on. Make sure it makes its way all the way up to the proper groove. And that's flush like that. I say it all the time with these style oil filters. I've said it since the time that I've had to do the oil changes on my mom's Malibu with this style cartridge, my brother's G6, my stepsister's Saab. Always change that O-ring right there. Always. Got our new ring. Stretch it over. Make sure it goes all the way back up to where it needs to go in its particular groove. That's it. Almost. Maybe. Pivot. Sheesh. So I think the best way to do it with these is to actually push the filter down into the housing, and then it snaps into the bottom of the housing. So it shouldn't move around, because trying to get that cap on with this, with it attached to the cap is like, man, I don't remember if this is what I did last time, but the cap will go in a lot easier without the filter on it. And then with it snapped into place, we should just be able to thread it down. Yeah, see, there it goes. Man, I mean, these were always a pain in the butt, but on these 2.0s, on this Ecotech 2.0 basically, man, that's a pain. That's a real pain. And again, I've said this too, don't over tighten it when you go to snug it up. It did seem like it was tight, like it was stuck undoing it just now, but it stops. Just a little nudge like that. That's it, it's good. I seen oil all over down in here on the transmission, so something up here appears to be, you know, leaking. But it's not the valve cover gasket, that's good. I did take another look around that. Try to get this. Alright, so we got that all snugged up. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Sheesh. Alright, so a little bit better. But at least now, something for me to keep an eye on. So while we fill it up, you know, the majority of that should be evaporating and the fumes should all go away. See some up there, so that's why it's like I'm not sure exactly where that could be coming from. Pretty sure I have to hold the funnel on this one. Sorta, kinda. This one. So this is what's going in it. Again, it's what the old Saab dealership told me. And they still use it to this day when they service these. So that's what we're putting in it. I need to get a better funnel. It's already running around the thing. Okay, there's 6. There we go. That should do it. It's so much nicer at work when I have more professional things now to work with compared to the stuff I have at home. Alright. Alright. So, let's go ahead and fire it up. Fire in the hole. Is that StabiliTrak light coming on? Yeah. Seems to be very bright low beam failure. Ooh, that's the first time I've seen that one. I know she says there was like, you know, weird electrical things here and there with the LEDs and stuff. That's the first time that one showed up. Here we go. Okay, no oil pressure light, so that's good. The low beam failure disappeared, so once I started it. Sounds good to me. Of course, it's, you know, still on the ramps. That's the first time I've revved it that high. So I guess the next question is how much came out, because this is 5 quarts here. Well, there's the answer. I was really pushing it with this jug, but yeah, not a whole lot overflowed out of it. That's also partially the funnel's fault, but that's it. So it was under 6. It might have been, gosh, I don't know if that's 5. I mean, it was maybe 1.5 quarts low. So I don't know, they lose it somehow, them engines. Pretty good. Keep in mind, it was just shut off, so a little bit ago, but it's in the safe zone. She's done. The message isn't going away this time. I'll have to scan it. I think there's a code. There's actually, I think, a TSB for it, because this happened to my stepsister and we scanned it and it was some bogus code, and the only way for it to go away was for the module to be updated. And I guess there was an actual TSB from Saab at the time. So we cleared that, you know, when it was active the one time and it went away. But the last time it came on, it actually went away on its own. Hey, you guys want to see a night panel? Watch this. How cool is that? Everything that's not important either dims or goes off completely. All the important stuff stays. It is actually pretty cool to use when you're on a really, really dark road. Gotta give props to Saab for that one. All right, and as far as the oil life monitor, we kind of looked at that before the last time I did an oil change on it. It's a really weird system to try to navigate through, because it goes by the date. So if you go to system settings, service info, service data, there should be a reset there, you know, but there's no reset. It just says where the oil quality was. 365 days to service. It always says that, so it's really weird. You hit OK, and that's it. Oh, you know what? I wonder if the Altel can. I wonder if the Altel can reset that. And while we're at it, we'll check out that. We'll check out the stability code to see if it's the same one. Let's do read all DTCs. See, the important ones are good. No faults in the engine, no faults in the transmission. There it is. Oh, it was toward the bottom. Traction control, electronic stability control. If it's the fault that has no information, yep, I think that's the same one. DTC description unavailable. So we'll have to look it up. But that's what it said the last time. I wonder if we can erase it. Can I erase it from there? No. 5 faults in the underhood electrical center. What? Oh, it's all the lights, probably from the LEDs. Current history. Yeah. That's probably the one that just showed up. Low beam right. I think I want to go to service.
Nope, not that one. Back. Service. Oil reset. Let's do auto VIN again. (2006) 93. Hot function, engine control. Is it taking me to the same thing? Engine oil life reset. (66%). I think that's different than what it's saying here. What's it saying here? 58%. But in here it says 66. Input value. Let's see if this works. 100. Oh. There we go. Enter. Okay. Programming in progress. Sounded like everything kind of reset. Traction control failure. Procedure complete. Alright, so cancel. Hey, look at that. Cool, so I can use the Altel to just reset that instead. That's cool. Why is the traction control code up now? Looked like it just had one fault still. It's a different one. U2. Okay, so this one, it's a U code, so it's probably from when everything was just updating. Alright, so we went ahead and I just wanted to get rid of the codes in the traction control module, but this tool wouldn't let me just select that module to erase the codes, so I had to do them all. So all of the modules are clear, oh, except for that one, so that fault must be pretty consistent. That's the only one that's been consistent so far. So anyway, it did clear the warnings. I just want to see, you know, if anything's going to come back right away. Probably when I shut the car off or turn it back on, maybe. But it's really bizarre. Yeah, so it's everything passed. What is this? I think there were 5 on this. Is this the lighting thing? Yeah. It's strange, all the lights work. I swear it has to do with the LEDs. What's this one? Yes. Yes. We need an outdoor temperature sensor, because I remember seeing on here, yeah, see, we have no temperature, so I knew that was going to probably be somewhere. So we need to get an outdoor temperature sensor for that, wherever it may be. Probably under the front bumper or something. So yes, there is an actual code for that. Nice. Either we need a sensor or the wiring on it is messed up somewhere. So like I said, this seems to have been a very different Christmas Eve. I actually got to do some maintenance on the car on Christmas Eve. Turned out to be a really nice day. Cloudy, no sun, but that's okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap it up now. Got the oil changed in the Saab. Got a new kitchen trash can, which I'm excited about. The joys of adulthood, let me tell you. And that's pretty much it. We tried to clean up the oil on the bottom of the Saab, so we'll keep an eye on that. I don't know what that could be, where that's coming from, but like I said, I'll keep an eye on it. It's running pretty good right now. Sounds good. Oil still, you know, seems to be at good pressure. We'll see. Hopefully, you know, we'll drive it so much, and I'll continue to check the oil level on it and see where it's going. But I feel better now knowing that it's got the correct, you know, oil type in it, the correct viscosity, and that's pretty much that. So guys, like I said, I'm gonna wrap it up. If you enjoyed this vlog, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Check out teespring.com/stores/Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for all of your MVS and vlog merchandise. And that's all that I've got. So again, I want to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday. And whoa. And I will see you guys next time. So take care, guys. I'll see you. Merry Christmas.